especially unhealthy eating. But yeah, I mean, this is a nice segue to mental health. This is the final topic we'll discuss, Aaron, because I feel like you've got a good experience, not obviously positive, but you've got a good story and stuff with mental health. I'm trying to word it roughly. So basically, obviously we've both been through depression and stuff like that, and it's not great. So what's your perception on how, because I've had other people discuss it, what's your perception on how our British culture perceive mental health?
I think it's gone too much the other way now, and some people might slate me for saying this, but I'm just going to say it. There was a time where nobody really spoke of mental health. It wasn't a topic that we ever discussed. It wasn't a topic that we ever acknowledged. Now I think it's gone a bit too much the other way.
Yeah.
I think it's something that some people almost strive to want, what I mean? Because we live in a culture now where, we've got to stand out from the crowd. So I think it's almost like some people actually want to be a little bit different, want to be diagnosed with something. I mean, I can certainly think of a few people out there that I know of, who will say, "Oh, well, I've got this, and I've got this, and I've got this, and I've got this, and I've got this," because they really, I don't know. It's difficult for me to word this.
Yeah,
Um,
it's hard to say it in a way that doesn't offend anyone.
yeah, it is, but I almost feel as though some people just like on the lookout for stuff that they could be diagnosed
Yeah.
with. You know what I mean? And if that's a better way of phrasing it, and I think what that does is it
I think it belittles the issue a little bit.
yeah, that's exactly probably the way that I would term it. It sort of belittles it, distorts it a little bit.
Yeah.
We detract from people with real issues and real problems.
Mm.
You always say that people say that a bit of low mood is depression. That's not depression. That's low mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that is temporary. That's something that will change tomorrow when you've had a sleep. That's not depression. Depression is something that is sustained, after a long period of time. It's something that affects everything that you do for quite a period. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to change. You don't want to shower. You don't even feel like getting up and making something to eat because the effort and the willingness just isn't there. Yeah, because it's like an overriding cloud of emotion.
Yeah.
And I think that some people, I think by people talking about it all the time, and saying, "Oh, I feel a bit depressed today," it ruins the integrity of what it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
I
You
feel
know,
like people who do that, it defines their character as a person. I think people who say I feel depressed today, it literally belittles the fact they haven't done the research on what depression is. I feel like that also reflects on our society is that people, there's two ways to look at it. There's people belittle it and there's people who overhype it. And overhyping the situation is it's making it glamorized, it's making it popular. It's not a popular thing to have. People, there's legitimately people out there who are stuck in bed all the time, who have real issues, and there's people getting the people are getting therapized, going to counselling for stuff that isn't that big of an issue. And I think that's just down to our society not taking it seriously and understanding it enough. Because there's a lot of stuff like that that the British society just don't research. Um, People who watch this podcast are primarily younger. Obviously, we aren't old. We're like obviously in our early adolescence in terms of 20s and stuff like that. But we've been through a lot in terms of life experience. What would your advice be to younger people, 15, 16, 17, who are going through mental health issues? Because I feel like nowadays it's kind of hard to express you are actually depressed because social media is such a massive part of society. It's so glamorized in people's lives. If your life isn't like this fitness influencer, this travel influencer, then your life's shit. And I feel that's just a thing, way of culture now. And what would your advice be to a younger teenager leaving school who isn't in the best of mindset?
I think it's very difficult because it's a lifelong learning process, and I mean the advice that I want to give might not be right for somebody who's 15, 16, but I'm going to say it anyway. You need to cut off toxic people.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it for me. Those 1,300 friends on Facebook. How many of them are actually friends? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I keep my friendship group very small now, and I surround myself with good people because I think that's the only way that really it sort of stabilizes me as a person. You need to get rid of all that toxicity,
yeah,
that other people bring, all the drama that's unnecessary, all the negative comments, all the jealousy. Just get rid of it. Um, and another thing for me, what I've done is be content with yourself. Yeah, be content in your own company.
yeah,
You know, go on long drives with yourself. Yeah, music blasting, weather's good. Yeah, go on a walk by yourself. Just enjoy your own company
yeah,
because it's only when you're truly, you know, um, satisfied with yourself and
mm,
content with how you are as a person that you can be content in other people's company.
yeah.
If you can't be content with yourself, how can you be content with other people?
Exactly, mate. And you've hit the nail bang on the head there. And I saw it the other day. It said something like, if you put a shark in a fish tank, it won't outgrow its environment. Where if you surround yourself around people of small-mindedness, of negative mindset, then you're not going to outgrow them people because you're surrounded by them sort of people. So your mindset reflects the people you surround yourself with, sort of thing. And you are right in terms of go for long drives, go for long walks, go for runs. I see them three things as like a form of therapy, mental therapy, a meditation sort of thing. Meditation doesn't have to be sitting on your own, eyes closed, making funny noises. Therapy doesn't have to be sitting down with a therapist. You can do your own stuff. What I think, doing the things you love, which sets your mind free and stuff like, is therapy. So for me, I love running. I love lifting heavy weights. I love playing football. I love watching films. I love going for walks. For me, that through lockdown, they're the things that have kept my mind going. And you've got to find that thing that pushes you in terms of what commands you every single day, and which keeps you going. And I will say one thing: mental health doesn't issues don't go away. I mean, they'll never go away. They're a part of you in terms of, if you suffer from depression before, that your depression may ease, you bet your life may get better, but it'll always be there in the back of your head, sort of thing. But you've got to find something to tame it and keep you going, and find that path in life which focuses you. If that's doing, like we said, doing all these things we listed, starting a business, do things that commands you and pushes you, and that's how you grow as a person.
Yeah,
Um,
it's also about being grateful for what you do have.
yeah,
And that's something I've taken everywhere is look at what you do have as opposed to what you don't have, and be compassionate, be empathetic to people who are not in the same situation as you. So, for example, I mean, so I was sat in a car with a good friend of mine, and I was telling her a story about how I went to Tesco with you. Actually, I went to Tesco with you, and I bought 2 packets of pineapple flavored Jaffa cakes. And I came out of Tesco, and there was a homeless man sat on the side of the cash machine, and I gave him a packet of my pineapple Jaffa cakes, didn't I?
yeah,
Because and I didn't need 2 packets of pineapple Jaffa cakes. You know what I mean? Only needed one, didn't need two. And just because he should be able to enjoy what I can enjoy, even though he doesn't have what I have. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I take that everywhere now. And once you adopt that sort of mindset, there are a lot of people that are worse out there than what you are. It really does open your eyes to a more content life, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, mate, I totally agree. I mean, I've started taking up things like writing down what you're grateful for, writing letters to yourself and stuff like that, because it's so easy to. I mean, I do it all the time. I'm guilty of this. Life's so fast paced. Like in term when you do things, when you start ventures, um, life's so fast paced in terms you got to be here at a certain time. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to, and you've got people around you in life that sometimes you might neglect, and there are other people who you might not have time for because your life is so high paced. And sometimes you've got to stop and have a look back, reflect, and think they're only trying to help. There's people worse off in life who I could probably help, family even. I could probably spend more time with them when you've got the time. So it's just writing things down, and um, there's so many pressures as a teenager. We've been through them. That when you get older, you're like, were they really pressures? But at the time, they're so big. Um,
I
which
think
sometimes,
also, uh, we've talked about people sort of belittling, I don't know if that's the right word, but belittling
yeah,
mental health conditions. But it's also important to know for any young person that might be watching this, if you do have long, prolonged periods, depressive episodes, go and get the help. Do you know what I mean? We're not dismissing it. If you are truly suffering from something that is so inhibiting to yourself, yeah, and to your life, go and get help for it. Whatever that is, whether that's pornography, whether it's drugs, whether it's drink, whether it's anything, go and seek some help for it. Yeah.
yeah, mate. And I think you've rounded that off perfectly. Because yeah, I was going to stress we weren't belittling the issue. We were just speaking facts in terms of people do take advantage of the depression tag, and it's not easy to spot because people can play up to it. And but if you have got, like Aaron said, if you have got the actual depressive episodes, long periods, you do need to see someone because that is an opportunity for you to change your life around. Because I feel like mental health issues do come out as a positive thing when you do turn your life around. Because you've got something to drive your life then and make that change. But yeah, I know you're a busy guy, Aaron, so we're going to end the podcast here.